Excellent. Perfect. Okay. So it is now 10 a.m. Eastern time. We are officially going to get started, everybody. So welcome. Welcome to the 5 ways that I achieve freedom from gas, bloating, indigestion, and weight gain without taking meds, without going on a diet, or without giving up the foods that I love. Masterclass. I am so glad that you're here with me, and I really don't take it lightly that you've committed to spending the next 90 minutes or so with me. So this is an interactive training. We're going to have a conversation together today. So make sure you keep your chat box open on your screen. I'm going to be asking questions. I would love to hear from you. I want all your comments. Don't be afraid to engage. So with that being said, let's get started. I'll see who I've got here with me. Hello, Angela, Katie, Louise, Brittany, Nicole, Kathy, Eileen. Hello, everyone. Welcome. So glad to have you here. Amazing. So, ladies, you are all here because you want to know how, right? How to fix your gas, your bloating, all those digestive issues, maybe weight gain. So, it's super important that you block out all your distractions. I really want to make sure that you're able to focus on today's training. And on that note, I do have a gift for all of you guys who are here with me live today. Everything that I'm going to share today with you is equally important, and it's critical to banishing all of those symptoms that you stay until the end so that you can get the full picture and the tips I'm going to share. Plus, I have a big promotion, sort of like a big bonus that I'm going to share at the very end. So you definitely don't want to miss that because it is super time sensitive. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to bribe you. Close to the end of the webinar, I'm going to be posting a link in the chat where you're going to be able to get instant access to the gift, which is the Gut Healing Program Meal Plan. So this is a 6-day meal plan with recipes, shopping list, and a full prep guide all included. It incorporates gut-loving nutrients. It gives a break from common irritants. And it also has lots of fermented foods in there that can help replenish your gut with good bacteria. This meal plan has a $200 value, so it's definitely in your best interest to stay until the end. So let me know, ladies. Pop it in the comments if you plan on staying until the end. Let me know. Hi, Kirsty. Welcome. Welcome. Ella, hello. Abigail, welcome, ladies. Good to have you here. Let me know if you're staying till the end. Looks good. Looks like everybody's up for the long haul. Love it. Excellent. So here is my promise to you all today. By the end of this training, I am going to show you how you can shift from being a prisoner to all of those digestive symptoms to knowing exactly how to get rid of them for good. So you are able to take back control over your body. So you're going to be able to look and feel your best and just get back to your life. Just imagine being able to skip over all of the Googling, all the trial and error and just do what works. I know for me, when I learned the steps that I'm going to share with you today, it changed my life. It has certainly changed my clients' lives, and I know it's going to change yours too. So tell me if that sounds good to you. Pop it in the chat. Tell me what you think. Louise says yes. Eileen, yes. Bernice, yes. Hello, Linda. Welcome. Excellent. All right, sounds good. Fabulous. So before we get going, I just want to know if any of you out there can relate to any of this. So if something sounds familiar, pop it in the chat, tell me what your struggles are. Are you tired of buying random supplements that you have heard probably will help your symptoms, but they never do? Are you fed up with giving up all of your favorite foods or even going on the latest difficult and restrictive fad diet in hopes that it's going to end all those tummy troubles? Or help you shed some weight, maybe, but it never works? Are you guzzling Pepto Bismol, popping Tums, Imodium, laxatives, or Gas X like candy? Are you sick of white knuckling it through food cravings? Are you unsure how to get a handle on your digestive health or even on your weight so you can put an end to all of this struggling once and for all? Do you feel like you're on an emotional roller coaster as you go from, motivated and hopeful, ready to go, to frustrated and disappointment and even filled with shame? So let me know if any of these are things that you can relate to. Hey, Amanda, great to have you here. Oh, so glad that you're here. Marvelous. So let me know, ladies, in the chat, if any of those things are things that you can relate to. Because if you are nodding your head in agreement with any of these points, I can promise you I'm not a stalker, I'm not watching you, but you're not alone. I have literally done all of these things. And I promise you, whatever it is that you're doing and it's not working, it is not your fault. There is so much information out there. I mean, we all know the internet has got unlimited bits of information, and most of it's contradictory. And it is nearly impossible to sort through it all. So, women like us, most of us, we are high achievers, we're busy. Maybe we've been raising small humans, maybe they're big humans now. Maybe you're at the height of your career or you have lots of responsibilities at home. Definitely women who are caregivers, women who've been putting themselves last for years. It's almost impossible to do it all and not have our bodies begin to protest. So, if you feel anything like I did back then, I would have done literally just about anything to get rid of my symptoms and just get back to living, except nothing seemed to work. So, what I am about to share with you today is the fastest and simplest way to wake up every day with more energy, feeling great, and ready to live life to the fullest. It's a way for you to stop relying on those over the counter meds to manage symptoms. You'll be able to put on the little black dress or maybe the pencil skirt at work or whatever it is that you dream of wearing and get out and enjoy your life. Oh, Sylvia saying she doesn't hear me. What's happening here? Just one moment, ladies. I'll check and see what's going on with my volume. Hopefully that helps. Let's see now. Hopefully that helps. My signal seems to be fine here on my end. So I'm hoping everything is okay, but just let me know, ladies, if we have some issues with sound, and I'll see what I can do to switch that up. I'm thinking maybe I can switch my internet source if there's a problem. Hopefully that helps it. So before we go any further, I do want to introduce myself formally, just in case some of you don't know me. I am Andrea O'Callaghan. I'm a registered holistic nutritionist. I'm the founder of the Ultimate Digestive Freedom Formula. I have over 20 years of experience. I have a background in naturopathic medicine, and I also have a specialty in women's digestive health. I do have a practice in a wellness center in the town where I live, which is here in St. John's, Newfoundland in Canada. And I support all types of women who suffer from all types of digestive difficulties. I'm also a divorced mom. I have 3 kids. They are 13, 15, and 17. My oldest daughter is going for her license this week. So I'm really hoping that that's going to mean that I'm going to get a little bit of a break from the mom taxi role, because that's like 50% of my time, I swear, driving these kids around. So the truth of the matter is, I have gotten rid of my digestive symptoms, yes, but I still struggle, from time to time with bloating and some of my digestive symptoms, because life happens, right? But now the difference is I have the tools to handle them, and I can get back to, the little black dress or wearing what I want, So that is my message for you. So this picture is not my favorite. That was me 12 years ago. My gut symptoms, were at the peak of their terribleness, if that's a thing, they had been around for as long as I can remember. But, at this point in my life, my skin was a mess. I was bloated and gassy. I was chronically constipated, totally always uncomfortable. And by the end of the day, I couldn't even zip up my pants. I was battling sugar cravings, exhaustion, and I really struggled to get through the days. But what you really can't see in this picture is, the self-hate and the shame that I carried with me every damn day. And I really thought, that I had reached my bottom. But I had not. That came when I got a thyroid cancer diagnosis. I hadn't been feeling well for so long, but getting this diagnosis was such a shock. Like, it was a total shock for me, and I was devastated. And I was terrified for myself and for my kids. So this ended up being, the real wake-up call that I needed to turn my life around. I finally kind of woke up, and I admitted I needed help. So, help is what I got. Along with surgery, I sought the help of a holistic healer, and I began my road to recovery and wellness. And here I am today, over 12 years cancer-free. My gut issues are a thing of the past. and I am very much, an active player in my own life. But I will tell you, it wasn't easy. It took me years, and I had to unlearn everything that I thought was the right thing to do because I quickly discovered, how wrong all of these things were. I sort of had to test out different formulas to see which ones worked for me, which ones were right for my body. And, some things worked, some things did not. So I ended up seeing, different types of practitioners for guidance along the way. But it paid off. Today, I have my freedom from the gas and the bloating, the indigestion, the bowel irregularity. I have freedom from the brain fog, the fatigue, even the anxiety and depression I suffered with. And I have freedom from the yoga pants, the restrictive diets, the skipping meals, all of those things I was doing, depending on over the counter meds to just handle the symptoms. So, this is a picture on a trip that I went on last fall. Ladies, I'm nearly 48 years old. And by the time I was 30, I thought I was never going to be getting into a bikini again. But today I have the freedom to wear a bikini on the beach with a little bit of confidence. You may be able to see my cesarean section scar there in the picture, but you don't see what looks like, a 6-month pregnant belly, which is the way I usually walked around. I get to wear what I want without worrying how it's going to feel, how I'm going to feel, how I'm going to look. Overall, I feel good in my body today. But most importantly, I feel good in my mind and in my spirit. The days of self-loathing and, complete shame, they are gone. Today, I can pick up the phone when my friends call and I can go out and enjoy a meal with them. I really am free. And this is the place that I like to refer to as digestive freedom, because you have freedom in digestion, yes, but you have freedom in your life. And that's really what I'm here to talk to you about today. So this journey that I just kind of summed up for you there is what motivated me to help other women make radical changes in their digestive health before they end up with bigger problems, more serious problems like I did. So gaining back control over my body, it took a lot of time and patience, but when I did, I decided to return to school to study holistic nutrition and train in women's digestive health. So this was the kind of piece of the puzzle that really allowed me to help other women who struggled like I had. And what I discovered through all of the trial and error, it wasn't, that I had maybe weak willpower, and it wasn't that I wasn't strong enough to say no to junk foods. I wasn't lazy. I wasn't stupid. I just didn't understand what the real problem in my body was that had started all of this, and I had no idea what to do about it. So, are you ladies interested in hearing about what you can do for your issues? Pop a yes in the comments if you do. I'll wait and see who's ready to hear. All right, lots of yeses. Amazing. So glad to hear it, ladies. Perfect. So before we dive into the 3 secrets that you need to understand to be able to get results, I need to share a really short case study with you because, it's really important that you can see examples of what real success looks like. That way, you can ground yourself in knowing that this is possible for you too. So this is Vanessa. She is a client, that really stands out to me. She came to see me with gas and bloating, extra weight that she couldn't keep off, and she was struggling with a big battle of sugar cravings. So Vanessa was a mom, she had a demanding career and a really busy life that was being heavily impacted by her gut issues. She was losing her confidence at her work, though. She was becoming extremely self-conscious when she had to get up in front of her colleagues. She didn't feel comfortable wearing her normal work clothes anymore. She hid behind what she called tent blouses, actually. I remember her saying that. And I know that her brain fog and her anxiety were getting more and more unbearable. So she was taking Gas-X every day, hoping that it was going to, reduce the bloat. She had tried Weight Watchers. She did paleo. She did keto. She was skipping her meals if she had a work presentation or she had to go out anywhere nice. And she struggled daily with a losing battle against the sugar. So she told me that she thought about sweets, all day, every day. And when she inevitably gave in to those cravings, she suffered terribly from guilt and shame. Nothing she tried helped, and she was not going to be able to drop any weight if she couldn't stay off the sugar, right? So once she, gained that understanding that her gut microbiome had an imbalance, and we'll get into this now, And that, these pathogenic microbes had taken over the good ones that are supposed to be the most dominant in there. She realized that diets were not the answer. They weren't going to help. And she finally got to get off that diet merry-go-round that she was on. She learned how to rebalance the microbiome so that her cravings weren't going to take over anymore. And then she could get a handle on her sugar consumption. And guess what? The gas and bloating subsided. The weight began to come off and her mental clarity returned. So she finally got to kind of get back into, the driver's seat of her life, I guess you could call it. And I know, ladies, that this can happen for you too. So now we get into the real gold of the training. So these are what I like to call the secrets, right? There are 3 secrets that will really teach you how to get into the place where you can have that change that you desire, to get the results that you want, to be able to get rid of the symptoms so you can look great and feel amazing and live your life. So the secrets are, number 1, the real reason why what you've been doing hasn't been working. Number 2 is the truth about the misconceptions that you've got about your symptoms. And then number 3, what you really need to do to finally take back control of your body. So let's go. Let's dive in. So this is the first secret. This is the real reason why the things you have been doing up to now are not working. So, tell me if I'm wrong, but up until today, I feel like we all look at our problems like this, gas and bloating, that's my problem. So I got to deal with that. Or indigestion is my problem. So I got to get rid of that. Or extra weight, that's my big issue. So if I get the weight off, the problem will be solved, and so on and so on and so on, right? But these things, ladies, they are symptoms. They are not the problem. And if you keep patching your symptoms, they just keep reappearing because of the cause, that underlying reason remains. It's sort of like patching a tire, but, continuing to drive over the broken glass. If you don't get rid of the glass, you're going to keep getting holes in your tire. And if you don't understand the reasons for your issues, then you're not going to be able to address their cause. And if you don't address the root cause, you're going to continue to get those symptoms. So that is what we want to get down to here today on this masterclass, right? The root cause of your problems. Then you've got that real route to freedom that you're looking for. So let's learn. Let's learn about the root cause of your symptoms. So these are some common examples that I like to discuss when we're talking about root cause. They will really help you understand this concept because this is like the first thing that you need to get clear with before you can move forward. So let's look at over-the-counter meds as a good example. Over-the-counter meds like Tums and other antacids, for example, they serve to sort of reduce the acid that is contributing to heartburn, if that's something you're struggling with. And they work, right? They do this in the short term. But what you have to understand is that stomach acid is majorly important. First, we have to have it to digest our food. But second, we need a certain amount of stomach acid to signal the stomach to be able to close fully so that it doesn't stay open, which will allow the acid to come up into the esophagus. And then the heartburn comes back when the Tums wear off, right? Plus, aside from having the symptom of the acid reflux, your food in your belly is not fully digested because you've reduced the amount of acid you need to be able to break it down. So what happens then? It keeps moving on through, but once it gets down into your intestines, it begins to rot. And what do we get when we have rotting food in the intestines? Gas, bloating, discomfort, pain, all of the inflammation, all of those symptoms that you're getting, right? And it's super gross, right? So we actually need to be able to support the acid production in the stomach. So we're making enough to get the stomach to close and prevent that root cause of heartburn. So stomach function is what we have to address, right? Basically, this is something that I like to term digestive dysfunction. And digestive dysfunction is one of the main root causes of all gut symptoms. Now, this is an important part for me to mention, the other huge factor in gut health, which is your microbiome. So you've probably heard of it. But if not, your gut microbiome is the literal trillions of organisms that live in your digestive tract and really throughout your whole body. And these organisms lay the foundation for your health. When you have an imbalance in these organisms, it can lead to huge problems with the health, things like weight gain, immune function problems, definitely indigestion, food sensitivities, depression and anxiety, skin issues, like so many more. They're connected to almost everything. So when the microbiome becomes imbalanced or injured, it's called dysbiosis. So antacids, especially when we're using them long term, weaken the digestion and actually contribute to this dysbiosis. So the very thing you're taking to control your symptoms is actually making them worse in the long run. Another good example is Gas X, right? I loved my Gas X back in the day. And it really works by helping you pass the gas that you do have. So getting rid of the gas that's there doesn't mean it's not going to keep returning, right? This is just another example of more symptom patching. Imodium for diarrhea or laxatives for constipation, a really common one that I speak to many of you about. These also work by symptom patching. They're just trying to stop what the body is doing, but they're not fixing the cause. All of these types of meds only serve to cover up your symptoms, right? They don't address the root cause of the gut issues, which we are learning is either digestive function, dysbiosis, or a combination of both. So your symptoms keep coming back, right? And they also end up contributing to the problem, which just means more symptoms. So let me know in the chat, ladies, if any of you guys are taking any of these over-the-counter meds, right? Things to cover up the symptoms. And I'm talking about things like Tums and Gas X, antidiarrheals, laxatives, maybe Pepto-Bismol. Pop it in the chat and let me know if you're trying any of these over-the-counters. Let's see what we've got here. Pepto-Bismol. Yeah, different laxatives. I see some herbal laxatives in there. Yeah, herbal laxatives are another one that's really popular. And people just think because they're herbal and they're natural, they're not going to cause any problems, but they're still patching symptoms, right? 100%. All right. Thanks for that, ladies. Amazing. All right. So now another thing that we are doing that's not working and a way that we have tried to symptom patch is randomly buying and taking supplements and natural remedies. There are so many pills and supplements that claim to be miracle workers for gut health. So navigating sort of through these health claims and all of the evidence that, is presented, it can be incredibly confusing, and it can really be overwhelming. So without knowing exactly what deficiencies you have and what your own individual system needs, using supplements like this is seriously a shotgun approach, and it is just a waste of money. One example I love to use here because it's really personal to me is probiotics, right? So probiotics are like these capsules of friendly bacteria, which are supposed to be found in our microbiome. So if we don't understand that there's lots of bad habits that all of us have that actually kill off the bacteria in the microbiome, and I'm talking about things like not enough sleep or a lot of stress, eating processed foods or lots of sugar, for example. If we don't understand that these things are damaging the microbiome, then we're wasting money on probiotics that are just getting destroyed right after we take them. So let me know, ladies, in the chat if you have gone out and spent tons of money on supplements just to, take it home and get no results from it. Let me know some of the things that you've tried. And I know for me, that was definitely me with the probiotics. Like I heard about them when they first came out a long time ago. And I thought, boom, that's it. That's the missing piece of the puzzle that I've been looking for. This is going to fix all my problems. And I wasn't exactly wrong because, my microbiome was a complete disaster, but the answer wasn't going to be found in a pill. I was taking the probiotics and I was hoping for a miracle, but all the while I was drinking chlorinated tap water, right? And so we know that chlorine is added to our tap water to kill the bad bugs in the water so it doesn't hurt us, but it's also going to kill the good bugs that live in us if we drink it. So, I was doing this and it was a waste of my time to be taking the probiotics and a waste of my money, So now I know that I have to have all of the threats to my microbiome under control, right? Those root causes before I can even consider making probiotics useful to me. Yeah. So probiotics are a common one here and as well. Yep. Glutamine, digestive enzymes. Yep, lots of different things we're trying. Gotcha, ladies. Well, we're always hoping for an answer in a pill, right? Because wouldn't that be the nicest thing? Something simple like that. But there is another common strategy that I see a lot, and I did it as well. And that's trying to stay away from all those foods that are giving us trouble. Lots of people have bloating and gas and pain in response to lots of different types of foods, right? Things like wheat and dairy, some vegetables, even broccoli, cabbage, onions, things like that. Beans are a common one. And then we've got, ice cream and pizza and all that stuff, right? The list goes on and on. What are the foods you ladies are trying to stay away from? Pop it in the chat and let me know if there's certain foods that you can't eat just because they give you too many symptoms. This is something I always find really interesting to see. So let me know in the chat what you're working on. I know for me, it was bread, right? Like if I went to a restaurant and had the bread, I would be blown up like a balloon just moments after I ate it. Pasta too, pizza too, those kind of things. It was really, really humiliating, I have to say. Like, forget about getting up to go to the bathroom. I used to want to just keep my bloated belly kind of under the table out of the way, right? Anybody relate? Nicole is saying carbs and sugar. Yeah, for sure. And that's such a common one, right? Because it's feeding the bad bugs in the microbiome, those pathogens that are really producing the gas and bloating. So something like that is so common to have to stay away from. Cruciferous vegetables. Yeah, that's another one I see a lot. Same thing. We haven't got the right types of microbes to break them down. All dairy, wheat. Yeah, definitely, ladies. So these things for sure are common foods that cause symptoms. But no matter what the food was that we have to stay away from, we have had to stay away from it because we believed that changing what we eat is going to stop the cause of the poor gut health, right? This assumes that food is the cause of the troubles that we're having. But I got news for you, ladies, and this is like my favorite sentence to say. It is not the food's fault. You heard me. Unlike popular opinion, food isn't the true culprit behind our tummy troubles. Yeah, some foods do create symptoms, but the question is why? Is it because we maybe are not digesting them properly? Or maybe we don't have the right strains of microbes in our microbiome to digest them? This is where we come back to our root causes again, right? We've got digestive dysfunction and or dysbiosis as the root causes. Lactose intolerance is a huge one. If you are lactose intolerant, it means you have dysbiosis, bottom line, because we need specific strains of microbes to break down the dairy products. So if you can't do dairy, you got dysbiosis. Like it's very straightforward, right? This is another quick case study to share with you just to, prove my point here. So this is Nicole. And before she joined my program, she was suffering with gas and bloating that was always aggravated by eating. Right after she ate, she would blow up like a balloon. And she was a social girl, right? Lots of nights her friends would get together for dinner parties, or at restaurants. But eating out in public was a huge gamble for Nicole. She would feel humiliated. She would wonder why she couldn't eat normally like everybody else. So after she came to see me, she changed from seeing the food as the cause to seeing her gut health and her microbiome as the cause. Then she learned how to fix her gut so that her digestion actually worked the way it was supposed to. And now, today she has the freedom to eat without that stress. She has regained control over her body and she's gotten rid of that bloating and gas and all of those kind of pains that were really overshadowing her life. Sure. See here in the chat, I've got some more comments. Amazing. Got a few more people joining us. Hello. Hello, Charlie. Hello, Brittany. Hello. Nice to see you. Amazing. All right. So another example I have for you now about, how we have tried to patch our symptoms is diets. We are going on different diets in the hope that one of them is going to be this magic bullet that we're looking for to end our embarrassing symptoms and maybe to drop a few pounds, of course, right? You may have tried one of the big fad diets that are out there. Everybody has heard of keto, right? Unless you're like under a rock, keto is everywhere. There's also paleo, Atkins, the macrobiotic diet, the South Beach diet, the zone diet. Like I could go on forever. Then we've got the calorie counting diets or point-based diets. So I'm talking about things like Weight Watchers or Noom, for example. So, not only do these diets not work, but they can also be a risk factor for significant metabolic and physiological, even psychological harm. In all of these fad diets, you could be eating loads of things that harm your gut and your microbiome and make your symptoms worse. And the thing is, sometimes these types of diets can even give you short-term weight loss. But who wants that? Weight loss is something we want to have happen to us, but we want to be able to keep it going, right? And we know that weight loss can only be maintained long term when your gut function is optimized and your microbiome is healthy and strong, for sure. Amanda says, it's weird. Bloating never seemed to be much of an issue when I was first diagnosed with digestive issues, even when it was at its most severe. But these past few weeks has become more and more visible. Yeah, that's something that I see a lot, you know. We may keep things at bay to a certain extent for a certain amount of time, but then all of a sudden, when the body becomes overwhelmed, you begin to see a real uptick in your symptoms and things just keep progressing on and on from there, right? So yeah, thank you for that comment there, Amanda. So what I want you to remember is that when we use changing what we eat as a tool to fix the issue, it's because we believe that food is a root cause of the issues that we have. So you now know that it is not the food's fault. And when I say that, I mean this about real whole foods, you know, the real foods. I'm not talking about processed, junky, crappy foods, because then, you know, maybe it is the food's fault. But when we're talking about real foods, it is not the reason for your gut issues. The root cause is poor gut function with an underlying dysbiosis. So that is what we have to fix in order to get the results that we want. So one last quick example of how we can try to patch our symptoms is skipping meals entirely, regardless of whether or not we're hungry. And I know I have done that, right? Let me know in the chat, ladies. Anybody out there ever skip a meal so they can, you know, slip into the little black dress or those like tight jeans for a night out? Pop it in the chat and let me know if that's something that you have been trying. Angel says, yes. Louise, me. Yep, for sure. Linda, me. Sylviane did it. Yep. Always says Nicole. Bernice says me. Katie says 100%. Yep, for sure. Yes. So skipping meals or not eating at all is obviously not a healthy or a safe way to manage your stomach issues. So if you miss meals or you are ignoring your hunger signals, you're hurting your body because you're depriving it of its fuel and its resources, just, you know, that it needs to function properly. Skipping meals also causes the body to lower its metabolism. This is a big one, right? This means you're going to burn less energy and you're going to hold on to your weight and gain more weight. This is how the body protects itself against starvation, right? This will leave you sluggish and tired. It can make you feel weak and shaky because your blood sugar balance becomes affected. And by the way, ladies, blood sugar imbalances are a major contributing factor to dysbiosis as well, because when we get the ups and downs, you know, those spikes in blood sugar, this is what feeds the pathogenic microbes and causes more dysbiosis. So skipping meals to avoid the symptoms does nothing to address the root cause, right? Poor gut function and dysbiosis. So the symptoms are going to come back anyway. And we're just contributing to them as well, right? With those blood sugar imbalances and the effects on your metabolism. Overall, this is another Band-Aid solution. And a last reason why the things that you're not trying, that you are trying that are not working is because you're not addressing all of the things that can impact your gut function. You know, if there's, say, let's just give an example. Say there's 10 pieces of the puzzle that will, you know, ensure that you have a good digestion. But if you're only addressing a certain number of them, you know, even missing one of the pieces of the puzzle, this can make any efforts at healing your gut useless because we still have a contributing factor, right? A lot of us women here, myself included, have very dysregulated nervous systems, right? Busyness, all of our stress, you know, possible emotional issues, sleep problems, you know, loads of different lifestyle factors, they affect our nervous systems. And if our nervous systems are not working properly, then this is a direct contributor to digestive dysfunction, right? So high achieving women like us, you know, women who've been doing it all for everybody around us for as long as we can remember, we have nervous systems that are jacked. We are in the stress response more than we are out of it. And this sympathetic nervous system state, you know, the stress response is sympathetic nervous system. This is the direct opposite of the parasympathetic nervous system. So the parasympathetic nervous system state, this is our rest and digest. This is when we're peaceful and calm and, digesting our food properly, right? This is what we need to really strengthen in order to have a strong digestion. So the point of this is that, trying to fix our guts it's just impossible if we're not aware of and not taking into account all of the different factors that we need to be. So quick recap, what we have seen with all of these things that we have done that are not working to get rid of our symptoms is that we have been patching those symptoms. Digestive issues cannot be fixed if we don't know the root cause. And our root cause is that underlying set of conditions that is creating all of this. We have seen in a general way that the root cause can be broken down into two things. Often they're both present together, obviously. And these are poor gut function or digestive dysfunction and dysbiosis or an imbalance in the microbiome. So, to get rid of our symptoms, we have to quit just trying to cover them up. And we have to get down to this business of fixing our digestion and rebalancing the microbiome, right? Now, a lot of you ask me at this point in the training, how did this root cause even arise? Like, how did this show up in my life? So there's so many different factors that can impact us and impact our digestion. But the most common examples that I have come across would be, of course, poor diet. Poor eating habits is another one, right? Not chewing your food well enough. Drinking with your meals is a big one because, it dilutes your digestive secretions. Eating too much, eating too fast, the wrong foods, which are not real foods, processed foods and chemicals, too much sugar, poor quality water, inflammation, nutrient deficiencies, different medications, stress, lack of sleep. Like I could go on forever. There's so many different root causes. And this is where we need to learn what we have to look for. But the good news is that once you learn what the gut and the microbiome need, you can really begin to address those root causes of your problems and begin to heal your digestion once and for all. Okay, so here is the second secret. What you are thinking is keeping you sick. Now, this to me is a really, really big, important one. This to me was something that kept me stuck for years. So our thinking is a big thing that I love to address when I work with women. And this type of thing includes things like incorrect beliefs, misconceptions, and even straight out lies that you're telling yourselves, right? And these are holding you back from achieving the results that you so deeply want because you're invested in them, right? You're caught up in them. This is how I think, and that's it. Maybe you don't even realize that you're stuck in this type of thinking. So that's why this piece of the training is really crucial for you all. We're going to look at your thinking here. We're going to break down your thoughts. And I'm telling you here now, these are thoughts that I too had once. So there's like no judgment. I'm on the same playing field as all of you. I had to do this work as well. We're going to learn how to sort of reframe them so that you can understand how to get to the results that you're after. And you have to remember, our thoughts are what determine our reality. They are the starting point for any sort of change. So if you really want to have a different reality, then we've got to look at thinking first. All right, let's go. So the first misconception that I had and that I see all the time is that, oh my God, I'm going to have to give up the foods I love. I am going to have to go vegan or vegetarian. I'm going to have to do only salads or complicated health foods diet. I'm going to become, as my mom loves to call me, a crunchy granola, right? Anybody out there relate to this sort of, barrier when you think, oh my God, if I'm going to do something here, it's going to be like complete change of diet. And I don't know if I can handle that. I know that many of us don't really look too seriously at a big lifestyle change because we feel like we're going to have to give up all these things that we love, all the foods that make us happy, right? We don't want to. Like, we do not want to do that because we love them, right? We picture ourselves trying to, stick to this complicated, difficult diet. We don't know how. We've never heard of half the health foods people are talking about. We certainly don't know how to cook any of them. And overall, we think we are going to be deprived, right? We want our bread, we want our pasta, we want cheese, we want to have treat every now and then. Who wants to be deprived? And how are we supposed to rely on willpower to stick to that, right? It seems too much to even consider. It seems too much to even get started on, so we don't. And this is a misconception, ladies. If a food makes your symptom worse, then of course you're going to have to assume that you're going to have to give it up, right? Don't blame yourself for thinking that. It's actually sort of logical. But what you've just learned, and say it with me out there in Zoom land, it's not the food's fault. I am going to show you how to address the root cause of your problems, gut dysfunction, dysbiosis, so that you are going to be able to tolerate foods again, even the foods that aggravate your symptoms now. And no complicated health foods diet, I promise. So does that sound good to you, ladies? Type yes in the chat if it does. I'll wait and see who's in. Great. Lots of yeses. Amazing. Perfect. Okay. So the next misconception that brings me to are, the only way I'm going to be able to handle these symptoms are to take a prescription. So this is a message that we have all gotten repeatedly, right? You have a health problem, you got to go to your MD. You're going to take a pill. He's going to give you the prescription that's made for the problem. And that's the only way we're going to fix it. When we go to the doctor with a complaint, he gives us a prescription, right? If we turn on the TV, there it is on the TV, right? The answer to our health problem is given to us in a drug ad. We have been told that the covering up of symptoms is the answer to the problem. And we've been told this our whole lives, right? So accepting this idea isn't something that you've probably even questioned before. That is totally understandable. So let me know in the chat, ladies, do you feel like that's a message that you have gotten, that drugs are the answer when you have a medical problem? Or you got heartburn, you got to take a PPI, let me know in the chat if you sort of relate to this message. Because if you've thought up until now that the only way to get rid of your symptoms are to take a prescription, then right now, right here, I am telling you, you can let it go. If you apply the method that I have and fix the true root cause of your symptoms, then there will be no need to have to take these medications anymore, right? And these meds often give you loads of extra side effects that end up causing a lot more problems in the body. Okay, so this is another big common one. And this was definitely something I felt as well. I am too busy to spend 12 weeks on a gut health program for my problems. Okay, so we're busy women. Let me tell you, girls, I get it. We may have families we're responsible to, or pets we're responsible to. We may have jobs, we've got bills to pay, homes, people, animals, things to look after. Then we got to try to sleep. We have to try to eat well and move our bodies, a bit of exercise. We are told we need to do that. There are so many things every day pulling us in all these different directions. So if you relate to this, type busy AF in the chat so I can see that I am dealing with women who know that life is full of lots of different responsibilities and obligations, and that, busyness is definitely something that comes into it when we try to figure out what it is we can take on, right? Yeah, lots of busy ladies. I see. So what I want to say to you ladies, and this is also very, very important. Is it not true that when we are suffering from poor gut health, we are not at our best? Our energy isn't optimal. Our focus is crap. Our concentration and motivation have gone out the window, right? Is it not true that if we felt better, then all the things might not be so hard to do? So the method that I am offering can be done from the comfort of your own home at any time that is convenient for you. Okay. So there's so much hope for you. I have clear step-by-step instructions that I give you, and it all covers the parts of your life that you spend time doing anyway, right? Things like eating, sleeping, exercising, right? So you just apply this method to the life that you already have. And I love to support women. I am there with you every step of the way, walking you through what it is you need to do. You don't have to think. You don't have to make decisions. I give you a plan and fully support you, so you actually end up having more time than you started out with, right? So that's pretty big. And I do want to, really stress this point to you. If you don't address your gut issues now, your symptoms will for sure get worse, and your problems will for sure get bigger. So, my best advice to you is deal with it now or be forced to stop everything later when you can't ignore it anymore. And trust me, this is what happened to me when I got my cancer diagnosis. I had to wake up and realize that my health was declining so quickly, right? And this, is very similar to the comment that Amanda made earlier, about the progression of symptoms and how things can get worse, right? If you don't deal with it now, the problems just continue to progress and get bigger. Okay, next misconception. It is going to be too hard to stick to any kind of a plan. I travel, or I'm social, or I have too many work commitments. All right, ladies. So, lots of us travel. We love to go out to eat. We want to go to the movies, maybe. We like to do social events. Maybe we have got lots of work commitments. So, a whole new schedule and a regimented sort of plan, that's not going to work in a fluid and changing life, right? No, this common misconception can be ditched right here. I can show you exactly how to get the results that you want, even if you travel, or you are social, or you have a demanding career. As I just mentioned, the method I use, has principles that fit into the life you already have. Otherwise, it would be impossible to maintain this indefinitely. And that is something that we need to have. So once you can address your root issues, gut dysfunction and dysbiosis again, then you can learn how to live in a way that can keep your gut working properly. You can continue to travel. You can continue to be social or, get social if you haven't even been able to up to now. You can meet your work commitments from a place of health and strength. It's not sticking to a plan, it's learning a way of living, a program for living that can take you everywhere and it can take you there always. Now, the next misconception that I often see, and let me know if this resonates with you because this is so common, is that, I really need to prioritize other financial responsibilities. I need to prioritize other investments because my health right now, it's not so bad. I can live with it. So, ladies, this is a huge one. You have to realize that prioritizing yourselves is so important. You have to see that you are worth it. You have to be on the list of priorities. You are deserving. How are you able to be, of service to others, of service to your work, to your loved ones, if you don't have your own health and vitality? So, if you don't make an investment now into your health, your issues will only become more serious, and they also tend to become less and less reversible. And your healthcare costs begin to get larger and larger. So I like to think of it like this, you're not paying for it at this moment. You just maybe haven't gotten the bill for it yet, right? So let me know in the chat, ladies, if that resonates with anybody else, how we will prioritize fixing the roof over fixing our guts. Or, we've got a wedding coming up, our kids getting married. So we got to save all our money for that. But we aren't going to be able to show up because we're going to be too sick, Think about those things. It's so important. So in addition to these misconceptions, there are a few outright lies that we tell to ourselves that keep us from the truth. And these lies keep us stuck in the problem. And one of these lies is, this is normal. So anybody relate to that idea of like, oh, gas and bloating, everybody gets that. No big deal, right? Everybody experiences digestive issues every now and then. Maybe mine are just a little bit more frequent, that's all. So I was definitely guilty of this head in the sand mentality for such a long time. It seems like, avoidance was my way of dealing, right? I just didn't want to think about it, like put the blinders on, and this got me no closer to putting an end to it all. So thinking it is normal to not function normally is just denial. You cannot address something that you refuse to acknowledge. Why should you settle for feeling unwell? Why should you allow poor health and all these symptoms to sabotage your life? This is our only one life. We only have one chance at this stuff, So until you see that you have a problem that really is impacting this one and only life that you have, you're going to continue to be a prisoner in that, right? So if you are here today to find a way to end all of those embarrassing symptoms and, this is your big goal, then I feel like probably your days stuck in denial are over now, right? Would you guys agree? Pop it in the chat. Let me know. Type hell yes in that chat if you are done with denial and you want to move on out. Let me know. Pop it into the chat. Hell yes. Lots of hell yeses. Oh, perfect. Good. So another lie is, oh, this I'm sure is going to go away eventually. Have you ever said this to yourself, hoping that your symptoms were just going to magically disappear and go away all on their own? This is a big question. I want each and every one of you to answer this question, please. Let me know in the chat. How long have you been struggling with your digestive symptoms or the other symptoms from unhealthy gut function that are, showing up for you, right? These can be all of the things that we're talking about today, between the gas and the bloating and the gut symptoms, maybe mental symptoms, energy, weight gain, fatigue, all those things. Let me know in the chat, has it been going on for more than 3 months or more than 6 months? Has it been a number of years, right? Has it been your whole life? Because that's really what I would have been able to say in my 30s, that it was for most of my life. Let me know in the chat. So I have got 12 years, I've got 8 years, I've got 6 months. 6 months, that's good. So you are already looking for a solution before things get worse, Nicole. I love that. A lot of you have a number of years written here. Oh my goodness, right? It's so hard for sure. So what I want to impress upon you guys is that, are you going to need to have a huge health crisis like I did to make you see that things are not just going to go away on their own if you don't address the cause? I mean, I knew I had problems in my gut, the symptoms that I was struggling with, they made that loud and clear to me. But I was literally just waiting and praying for the day that this problem would just go away, and I would be all better. But while I was waiting, the symptoms were getting worse inside of me, right? So, gut health is really important because it has a huge impact on whole body health. All disease starts in the gut. So, a healthy gut contributes to, your immune system functioning. It contributes to your heart health, your brain health, your mood, your sleep, aside from efficient digestion, it helps prevent cancer and autoimmune diseases. So waiting for our symptoms to go away on their own is like giving up the power over our own bodies. So the time has come, ladies, for us to take back control over our own health. And another lie I have to put out there that we commonly tell ourselves is, I'm only just, in a stressful time, right? I'm not feeling well right now because life is crazy. Life is so busy right now. I'm stressed to the max. But when my life gets under control, so will my symptoms. So I don't know about you guys, but things never really calm down, right? Life is definitely one thing after another. And yeah, stress is a huge factor in gut issues. But that stress never goes away. We need to learn how to cope with it properly. Stress causes physical changes in our gut and in our microbiome, and these are not going to resolve on our own. So waiting for stress to be gone is a really dangerous gamble because it's very unlikely that it will ever be completely absent, right? Life is just one thing after another. But we have to realize that stress is what I like to call an external event. So our reaction to this external event, that's an internal event, right? Stress is external, but our reaction is internal. So the external stress is 100% out of our control, but how we respond to it internally is completely 100% within our control to change. So it's better to improve your wellness and your stress response so that you can function properly despite external stressors. We can't just sit around and wait for something totally out of our control to hopefully change when it's our life on the line. And we're all busy, right? As I said, it's better to be healthy and strong and able to keep up. Because if you don't address these issues, something will give, and that something will most likely be you. So learning active stress management is part of the method that I'm going to teach because stress is a key contributing factor to our gut issues. Okay, so one more quick case study, ladies. And this one is really related to these misconceptions and lies that I'm talking about. And this gives you like such a good, clear example. So this is Alicia. Alicia is one of my favorite clients. I know I'm not supposed to have favorite clients, but Alicia is like a force, right? She came to see me for GERD, which is gastroesophageal reflux disease. So that's like a chronic heartburn or chronic acid reflux. So Alicia is this amazing, intelligent, really ambitious woman. She has a top position in a large company here in my city. But when she came to see me, she was actually on sick leave from her job because her GERD had progressed to the point of bleeding ulcers and she had developed a condition called Barrett's esophagus. So, Barrett's esophagus is a condition where the cells that line your esophagus are showing early signs of cancer. And they develop this because they're so chronically irritated from the constant acid reflux that they begin to actually have physical changes that lead into cancer, right? So basically, Alicia was being forced to stop her work completely and face these health consequences, right? So, in a nutshell, her story is, she had been diagnosed with GERD about 4 years before she came to see me. Her doctor put her on a PPI, which is like an acid reducing medication. And, he said, eat better, handle your stress, do all the things. And he sent her on her way. So, Alicia wanted to do these things, but her extremely competitive and, that high stress job of hers that she loved, by the way, that job sort of always kind of took priority over making an effort to really handle her stomach problems, right? She told me that she had been sort of putting off the lifestyle stuff until she had a bit more time. And her plan was that she was going to push through at her work for a couple of more months until her great big contract was over. Then things were going to calm down and she would start to look after herself better, right? So she came to see me. She was off work. We learned how to fix her acid reflux. We allowed her gut to begin healing from all of the years of damage. And she began to really see how ignoring that problem was not the best choice that she could have made for her health, right? So she ended up having her choices taken away from her. She ended up having no choice, but to kind of put her career on hold and really, fix the physical symptoms that she was struggling with, right? And those problems were definitely worse than just heartburn at the point that she was forced to face them, right? So luckily, working together and doing the actions that she needed to take, she began to reverse the changes that were occurring in her digestive system. And today, yay, Alicia, she is back in her role at work and she is functioning at this high level that she even before wasn't even able to function at, right? So it's a really great example of how we want to get a handle on our issues before they want to get a handle on us, really, right? Okay, ladies. So thank you so much for everyone sticking with me so far. We are way more than halfway through now. But the reason that you all showed up here today is because you want relief from your digestive symptoms. So this is the third and the final secret. This is the discovery that I made that changed everything for me. So these are the 5 ways that I achieved my own freedom. And you guys have all stuck with me this far. I thank you so much for that. So let us continue and get into the good stuff. So at the beginning of the training, I shared with you my own story. So I had to learn, remember, that I had to figure out the root cause of my health issues in order to, get rid of them. Otherwise, I was going to always be patching symptoms. So for me, in my digestive symptoms, I learned that I had an underfunctioning gut that was contributing to this compromised digestion, as well as an imbalanced gut microbiome. Put it simply, poor digestion and dysbiosis, right? So this idea of the root cause, I think you ladies probably have this down by now, right? I want to make sure that you get this concept of root cause. So let me know in the chat if any of you are not quite clear on root cause, or if, you're good to go. Root cause, check. Let me know in the chat how you feel about that. Good. Okay. Excellent. Looks good. Looks like everybody is on the same page. Love it. Amazing. Okay. So then the thing I needed to figure out next was how, right? Okay, I understand. I see what's going on. I have to do something. Root cause. Yes. But how? How do I get rid of the symptoms after I get this root cause, right? After I have figured out, at the time for me, it was with the help of a practitioner that helped me really tease apart what my own individual root causes were that were contributing, right, to this gut dysfunction. So I needed to figure out how. And I discovered that you really need to have a plan. Obviously, first off, you need to have this step-by-step plan that will address the root cause so that you can stop doing all the things that don't work, as well as the things that are actually contributing to the problem, right? Then you take all this stuff out and you can just focus on the key elements that do work. I learned tons of stuff related to the gut, right? Nutrition, wellness, the whole 9 yards. Some of them that helped me, but some of them that didn't. I won't lie. I studied, I went back to school, I learned all that I could about the gut and the microbiome. I got help from so many different types of practitioners and healers. So after finally mastering my own health and going on to use what I had learned through all of that with, all the women who ended up coming to see me in my practice and my gut issues, I began this process of streamlining it all, right? I began to put it all together. With experience, I began to see the commonalities that everybody needs to address. So I streamlined this process into this method that really encompasses all the pieces kind of that go into the creation of a healthy and well-functioning digestive system. So having this step-by-step method is key because it gives you that clear path to follow that you need in order to get results. So I decided to call this method the Ultimate Digestive Freedom Formula because you remember what I mentioned earlier at the beginning there. Once I fixed my gut, and got rid of all of those awful symptoms, what I got was my freedom, right? So looking back, I can tell that if I had had a plan to follow to get there, it would have been way simpler than all this, one step forward, two steps back stuff. So the idea of root cause plus a step-by-step method were some of the first things that I needed, but there were a couple of others. I also needed to holistically be able to address the body, mind, spirit relationship through, nutrition and sleep, stress, exercise, emotional work, all the different things that we need to be able to impact all the parts of ourselves. I needed a trusted, respected professional that I could ask questions to and get support from. And I also needed to be held accountable, right? I had to have accountability as well as community, right? The sense of community that I wasn't all alone. So I want to dive into the method now with you, right? How it works, how it produces the results that you want, which is, of course, to take back control over your body and get rid of these symptoms, not just for today, but for good, so that you can look and feel your best. So the Ultimate Digestive Freedom Formula is a 3-month program that is laid out in a series of easy to apply, simple steps, and they naturally build on each other to improve your health and facilitate your understanding of what is causing these problems in the first place. So forget about trial and error or, taking bits and pieces that work for others and just trying to figure out how to apply them to your own life. Just simple, clear-cut directions that are so easy to follow. So as you go through these steps, you begin to feel better immediately so that your energy and your motivation increase as you go. The formula addresses all the areas of your life that impact your health. So this is that holistic view that I was just talking about, right? It is that individual kind of view that takes into consideration, you as a whole person, not just your gut. It addresses the body, mind, spirit interrelationship. We know all these parts of ourselves are connected, right? If you go to a gastroenterologist, he's going to maybe treat the stomach, but he's not treating other parts of the body or your emotions or other contributing factors that are definitely impacting the stomach. That's why we need to switch away from a specialist kind of a view, go seeing a specialist who only looks at one little piece of the puzzle. And we need to look at the broader view, this holistic view that takes into account all of the factors that are contributing to your own root causes, right? We all know that our feelings affect our bodies, right? I mean, let me know, ladies in the chat, if you kind of notice this for yourself. Think about stomach ulcers and stress, right? Think about how our moods can show up in our bodies. We have to include things like sleep and stress and movement and mindset, right? We just saw how mindset is so key to being able to move forward if you're stuck in a rut, right? We have to be able to address our emotional health. Basically, all of the elements that influence how we feel and function. Because if we don't address all of the parts that make us a whole person, then we will never get complete healing, right? The program also includes full coaching element, obviously, right? You get access to me via weekly coaching calls so that you can ask questions or get suggestions on the areas that we cover. It doesn't do any good to be given step-by-step instructions and then be left on your own to get through them, right? How many of us have gone into a practitioner's office and been given, the plan or the diet or the supplements and then see you in 6 weeks? You know what I mean? And then it's all up to us. You really need to have access to a professional as you go through the process so you can have the support, to figure out the answers to the questions that inevitably will come up as you kind of learn to apply these principles to your own life. Coaching allows you to be able to execute the actions you need to get to bring you the results that you want to have, right? And ladies, we're all individuals. We all have our own unique struggles and challenges that we need to be sure are addressed. So that's what I'm here for. And, the weekly coaching calls are put in place so you can get that personalized individual guidance that you definitely are going to need. And, once again, mindset is such a big piece. The calls are an amazing place for you to be able to address any mindset struggles that can be part of the reason why you haven't been able to get results on your own before. Coaching provides you, support and guidance and motivation and above all, nurturing, right? That are really required to get you back on your feet and take control of your health and your life. And beyond the coaching element, ladies, I have 7-day-a-week office hours for the women that I work with because I believe that if they are committed to changing their health, I have to be committed to showing up for them every day as well. So this allows you to have access to me for any of your needs or questions that can arise during your time. So the Ultimate Digestive Freedom Formula also includes a private community group that you get total access to during your time in the program. So it's here that you're given the accountability that you really need for success. You get to share your experiences via prompts for me to post on your accomplishments. And I'm always getting you to keep me updated on your progress to see how you're kind of moving along through the different guideposts to success that we have. As well, and this is the big one, and it was a really big one for me as well, in my story, you have access to an entire community of women who are on the same journey as you are, right? You, along with this kind of amazing community of like-minded women, you go through the journey together. We know we're stronger together. And this is a key element of why this program is so successful. Sharing your journey with others like you allows you to grow together, learn from each other, and you hold each other up along the way. Just let me know if you relate to this isolation piece, ladies, because this is a big one. One of the pitfalls of suffering from gut issues is that we often suffer alone. I mean, do any of you out there feel like you're sort of alone in your struggles, or nobody understands, or everybody else can eat what they want or wear what they want? Let me know if you feel like you're suffering by yourself. I know for me, I definitely did. And we can feel ashamed. We can feel embarrassed, and we become isolated. So within a supportive community, you're alone no more. And of course, I'm available for support within the group for, encouragement and everything. But there is, a community. And this is such a big piece of the puzzle in really fixing your gut issues. So now you can see what each of the 5 elements of the Ultimate Digestive Freedom Formula are, right? We have determining the root cause. We have step-by-step instructions. We have the holistic approach, coaching, community, and accountability. So I have found that this is truly the winning combination that ensures that you can get the results you desire. These are the 5 ways that you can achieve freedom from your symptoms and all your digestive problems. So what would you prefer? The old way that you've been trying, unsuccessfully to banish all of your symptoms, meds, prescriptions, giving up foods, dieting, skipping meals, hiding under baggy clothes, or this new way, holistically with clear directions, learning and growing in community, being held accountable and fully supported. Let me know in the chat. What sounds better to you, the old way or the new way? I want to hear. The new way. Okay. We have some people who are interested in the new way. Good, good, good. Excellent. Okay. But if that is not enough to convince you that now might be the time to move ahead into a solution, then maybe this will help. For a limited time, anybody who signs up to join the Ultimate Digestive Freedom Formula will have exclusive access to my brand new special offer that I am offering inside this program. And this, ladies, is my biggest bonus. It's almost nearly over, to be honest with you. You may have heard about it inside the group, but if you're new or if you haven't heard about it yet, this is my once a year promotion, Get the Summer on Us. I really want to spend the fall and the rest of the summer with you inside of the Ultimate Digestive Freedom Formula. So if you enroll before the 28th of June, you can get the summer on us. So this is the new enrollment bonus that is on offer right now to anybody who qualifies to work with us inside the Ultimate Digestive Freedom Formula. So if you're anything like me, the summer is nuts. Super busy, lots going on. If you have been around my world for any length of time, with those 3 teenagers home for the summer, life is crazy. And I am constantly running like mama taxi, mama bank machine, right? And I want to be able to, do things to enjoy the nicer weather as well. So one of the reasons that I know that you want to get a handle on your gut issues is to bring you more flexibility and definitely more freedom, right? So this is what this enrollment bonus really covers. So let's get into it. To get the summer on us means up to September 30th is all free time for you inside the program. So you could start now, but you can get over 3 months free with a technical, real start date of September 30th, but you can dive in right away and just take advantage of all the extra time. You get all the summer months as a bonus. So then you get the regular 3-month time within the program starting at the end of September, 1st of October. So you get then October, November, and December. So really, if you join now, you get up until, the end of December, all time inside the program. Really, it's like double your time. Right? So it's 6 months of support, community, and coaching inside the program for the price of 3. Like, that's an incredible amount of extra time, right? And it will definitely ensure that you are able to get to your goals and more by Christmas, if not before then. So really, this is, one of the best ways that I can support you during the crazy summer season where your schedule could change and life could get a bit unpredictable. And I'll tell you, the free months of additional coaching are worth almost $2,000 on their own anyway. So who can realistically pass up on that, right? When having support and guidance of a professional is definitely one of your key determinants of success. So this additional time in the program, really, it gives you sort of a built-in buffer. That way, in case, someone gets sick or work gets busy or life happens or you go away, many different things can come up. You will be set up for success from the start. So this is a real do not miss kind of opportunity. And it's only available until June 28th. And I also only have 3 spots left. When I started the promo, I had 12, but most of them have been gone now. But I wanted to get this training out today so that everybody had the chance to hear about it and know that there's 3 spots still up for grab, right? I'm going to let you know exactly how you can secure your spot. But first, I want to continue because it's not just the time. This bonus has more. There's a new content module inside the program. So inside the program, we do have 12 basic modules that cover all of the content of the Ultimate Digestive Freedom Formula. But now there's a new bonus module that includes a ton of additional free resources. So these resources really kind of support you on your way to that digestive freedom that we want to be at. So the new bonus module includes all of the things here that you see. We've got a new 4-week customizable meal plan with recipes and shopping lists and prep guides. We have an oral microbiome support guide, the water filtration guide, bone broth workshops, fermenting vegetables workshops, produce shopping guides to give you the tips and tricks to be able to buy the right produce, a healthy cleaning guide for your home so you can clean your house in a way that is not killing off the microbiome. This was one of the big threats to my gut health that I had no idea. Who knew Mr. Clean was making me sick, right? We go into, a sunscreen guide, a favorite products guide, a recommended reading list. We have a meditation app guide, like loads of new exercises that cover things like mindset, detox, nervous system support. Like, I could go on forever, ladies, but this brand new bonus module inside the program gives you so many resources that only propel your success. And the resources themselves are valued at over $800. They give so much extra value to this promotion as well, above and beyond that additional time you get inside the program. So I'm pretty excited about that too. So get the summer on us, ladies. It's essentially double time inside the program, loads of additional resources, and you get to keep all of this stuff for life. Once you enroll, all of this stuff is yours forever. So it is such a smart investment, really. It will cover everything you need to ensure that your lifestyle choices support your new free and easy digestion. And it will keep it that way forever going forward, right? No more trying to figure it out all on your own. No more trying to figure out how to get a handle on those symptoms that have been derailing your life and taking away your freedom to live your life the way you want. It'll be ready and waiting for you, finally. So the question now is, do you want a seat at the table? I'm inviting you into the room. So you are the one who needs to pull up a chair. All of these additional components really save you time and money and ensure that you are set up to be successful. And I need to tell you that I am definitely invested in your success. And this is just one more way that I can ensure that we get you to your goals. So, anyone who joins now gets full access to all of this bonus. So now that you know all about this offer, I want to do just a quick recap of the core concepts that I just went over. I'm going to fill you in on how to access this new bonus offer. And then we're going to get into the gift to thank you all so much for being here with me throughout this time. Okay, so ready? Secret one was treating the root cause, right? It is critical to getting rid of your gut issues for good. You saw that you've been patching your symptoms with the things that you've been doing that aren't working anymore. And we learned that the root cause of gut function problems and all those symptoms is poor digestive function with underlying dysbiosis. So this is what we have to address in order to banish those symptoms for good. Patching symptoms will never work. Secret two, looking at your misconceptions and old ideas. Things like you have to eat in a complicated way, or you're going to have to take meds, or you're too busy, or you have too much stress, or, you're never going to be able to stick to a plan, or gut issues are normal, right? These are the things that we kind of broke down. And now you can see why these old ideas have kept you from finding your solution. And most importantly, you can now see that this is not your fault. We all feel this way, and overcoming our old ways of thinking is a huge part of our journey towards health, right? So this is a step on the path. So just because you had these ideas doesn't mean, you're never going to get it. It just means that you're actually on the path you need to be on, and you're growing through the things you need to grow through. And then the third secret, the discovery that I made that changed everything, was super powerful because I walked you through the exact method that I used and that I use with all my clients to get them to freedom from their digestive symptoms. We looked at each of the 5 elements of the program and how they are really instrumental in success over your gut health problems. So these 5 elements were: determine the root cause, have a step-by-step plan, have a holistic approach involving the body, mind, and spirit, have professional support, and finally, accountability and community. So at the beginning of this training, I made you a promise, and I promised that by the end, I was going to show you how to shift from being a prisoner to your embarrassing symptoms to knowing exactly how to get rid of them for good, so that you can take back control of your life and your body. So here's the thing that I need you to remember. Everything that I shared with you today isn't some random theory or, some idea that I hope will work for you. Everything I walked you today really works. It worked for me. It has worked for my clients, and they've all started from a similar spot to where you are right now. I'm not special and they're not special. We all have crazy lives and lots of things that pull us in different directions every day. So if they can do it, and if I can do it, then I am so confident that you can do it too. You already know that you can achieve freedom from digestive discomfort as long as you have accountability and a set plan to follow. So you're halfway there already. So the program I'm offering has helped so many women just like you. These here on your screen are some of the things that my clients experience inside the program, right? We can see there: cravings gone, bloating gone, weight loss. The one there in the center, Lisa, she had her needs for meds decreasing in her 3rd week. And by the end of the program, she was 100% off her acid reducing medication under her doctor's support, of course. And just last week, Debbie came off her metformin for her diabetes because she got her sugars back to normal as a result of healing her gut, right? Like, that's huge. It's incredible. And there's so many examples like this. But I have to say that I love the feelings that the women are reporting the most, right? Like you can see here, excited and motivated and inspired, right? Things like that inspire me right back. So some of the foundational principles that seem so easy that the many women inside the program are amazed at, they're amazed at the huge effect that these even beginning steps can have on their symptoms. So right here, Shelly, bloating reduced for her in just one day when she stopped doing the one thing that she didn't even know was contributing to her bloating, right? She discovered her root cause and she got to handle it right off the bat. So, that's pretty cool, right? And that's a big deal. Being able to achieve regular digestion, clear knowledge that this is now the new way of doing things because it works. I love that. Words like immense improvement in health, improved quality of life, never felt better. These are the things that the women inside the Ultimate Digestive Freedom Formula are experiencing right now. And you can too. You need to know that you have a choice. You can continue to do what you're doing, or you can choose a simpler, easier path, which comes with a proven system and accountability so you can get to your goal. All you have to do now is grab the amazing bonus, and you have got everything that you need to get set up for success, right? I'm going to tell you now how you can qualify. So I don't want you to, miss out on this chance, even though there's only 3 spots left. Maybe one of them is for you, right? And then I am going to give you the free gift. All right. So I'm going to take a couple of minutes now just to share how you move forward. I'm really honored to be able to share the opportunity with you, by the way, because the best way that I can help you is by personally supporting each and every one of you with a decision. So, I said, all you got to do is pull up a chair. How do you pull up a chair? We do it on the phone, right? I have something that I call the Digestive Freedom Discovery Call, and we will see if I'm going to be able to help you. We're going to see if we're a good fit to work together. So, what I've done is set aside some time over the next few days to speak with each and every one of you personally. Basically, this is the way that you're going to be able to see if this is the best next right step for you. And you'll still have time to take advantage of the bonus I've offered if you book in for your call before the deadline. So June 28th is the deadline. If you book in for your call up to and including June 28th, even if the call falls after June 28th, if you're booked by June 28th, you still have time, right? You will still be eligible to qualify because, there's only a few days left. And if I continue to have the amount of calls booked that I've been getting, then, we may tip over past the point. So really with this call, we make this decision together, right? There is no financial commitment necessary on this phone call. Just remember that, okay? We sort of have a brainstorming session. We talk about exactly what's going on for you and if this program is the solution that can help you. We'll see if it's a good fit for you and if you and me are a good fit together too, right? We really, in a nutshell, just figure out if this is the next best step for you and then what that would look like. So that's how you can qualify on the phone. So I'm going to pop the link to the chat here, the link to the call, sorry, here in the chat. I always get nervous when I cut and paste this because I don't want to close the whole thing down, but I think I did it. Yay. All right. So the link to book the chat is here in the call. So my advice to you is snag a spot. Just snag a spot, book the call. Let's have the conversation. There's no commitment necessary. You're not, signing away anything, making any decisions. We work through it on the call and there will never be any pressure. The great thing about this phone call is that even if you decide this isn't the best answer for me, or this isn't a good time, or even if it's not the right answer for you, you will still walk away from this call with a lot of clarity. Right? We're going to dig into your gut issues. We're going to figure out what your root causes are and what can be done. So even if this isn't the answer, you're still going to get answers to move forward with, right? So there is no losing in taking a slot for this call. It's definitely something I really am urging you to consider because the slots are going quickly. And everybody in the community, like thousands of women who are in this community have access to this call. So the more and more people who hear about this offer, the more and more people who are going to book the call. Okay, that's enough out of me on that. I think I've made my point. So use the link, book the call. I just want to show you now with this screen what it looks like when you go into the scheduler. Once you are there, you notice that the first thing that you do is enter your time zone. Then the calendar pops up showing you what availability there is for you to choose from. So once you choose your best day and time, you pop in your name, you give the number that you want me to call you on, and an email address. So after you schedule the call, you get an email. That's like your confirmation that you get right away. So if you schedule a call and you don't see an email, check your junk mail folder, okay? And then there's also an attachment in there that will allow you to put the call into, your online calendar if that's something that you use. But if you don't use one, no worries. You can just schedule it out, write it somewhere, put it on a post-it note, pop it on your wall calendar, whatever way you use to keep your appointments organized. And all the calls are done over the phone, like I mentioned. So I contact you at the start time of the call. And the important thing to know is that this is free, ladies, like 100% free. So, the basic idea that in order to succeed, you're going to need support and accountability. Then we talk on the phone. We discuss the next steps on this call to determine if you are a good fit for the Ultimate Digestive Freedom Formula. But listen, like I said, if this is not the answer for you, it's completely okay. You are going to leave this call with so much value and clarity. And of course, we are going to part as friends always. But listen, if you're not sure, if you don't really know what to do, then book this call because it is the only way that you will be able to know. Okay, my spiel is over and now it's time for your gift. Yay, this is my favorite part, getting to say thank you to all of you for being here. So I cannot thank you enough because I know this is a mouthful, this whole training, it's a lot. So in the chat there, I've just dropped the link for the show up bonus gift. This is the gut healing program meal plan. It's got a full shopping list for you there. And it's got a full prep guide that will kind of walk you through how to prep the whole thing for the upcoming week and make your life so easy. It is my gift to you for committing to yourself, right? Not just your digestive health, but committing to yourself as a priority and the life that you've always imagined for yourself. So click the link. The PDF will automatically download to your computer, or, if you prefer, you can copy and paste it into your browser. But if you have any issues, no stress, right? Don't worry. Just let me know and I will email it to you. No problem at all. And I really hope you love it. It can help support your journey, on the road to wellness. And it can give you an idea of one of the things that we can do to address our gut dysfunction and to allow you to begin healing. So now I've got a quick Q&A session. These are some of the most popular questions that I've gotten in the past. And the first question is, do you call me or do I call you? So I call you. Once you've booked your call from the link, I have the best number to reach you at the time that you have chosen. So I will call you. You don't have to do anything but be there and answer. So the next question I get is, I eat meat, I love dairy, and I really love bread, and I don't want to give any of that stuff up. Should I still even bother booking the call? Yes, book the call, ladies. Remember what we learned today. It is not the food's fault. If you can heal your gut and balance your microbiome, then you are going to be able to digest the foods from each food group, properly. The links aren't working and I can't copy and paste them either. Okay, I'm going to write your name down here, Nicole, and I will make sure I get that to you. But you have my email. You're a member of the Happy Healthy Gut Club. I'm going to just jot your name down here and make sure we get those to you. But don't worry. You are also, because you registered for this event, you're going to be on my replay list. So that way I will have your email there too. So don't you worry. I'm going to get this to you right away after the training. For some reason, it's not working for you, but I know that it's working for other women because I've gotten so many messages here of people who booked their call already. So no problem. So, there's a couple of people who it's not working for. Interesting. Well, it's working for some people and it's working for not others. So I'm going to make a list here of anybody who needs it, but don't worry, ladies, just reach out to me. I promise you will get this today. Promise. Okay. So next we have the question that, I'm really busy right now. Should I really still book this call? And as I say, yes, life is crazy busy and things are never really going to calm down. So it is better to be healthy and strong and able to keep up with your busy life. If you don't look after your health, something is going to give. And like I said, that's most likely going to be you. Remember Alicia, the client who progressed from, heartburn to bleeding ulcers and Barrett's esophagus, that precancerous condition? You know, wouldn't you rather get in front of your health problems before they get in front of you? And now with the bonus, don't forget, you have so much more time inside the program, which will be super helpful if you identify as, a busy woman. Here's another really common one. I'm currently on a diet, like I do Weight Watchers or keto or whatever, or I'm vegetarian or I'm vegan, should I still book a call? Yes. In the call, we specifically talk about diets and the things that you're doing. And I will say, I suspect that if the diet was doing what you wanted it to do, you probably wouldn't be here today. So in the call, we for sure discuss this, definitely. All right. So ladies, we did it. I actually did it within time. I'm super proud of myself. I hope I didn't rush too quickly, but I just hate to go over time and lose interest. So I want to thank you all so much for being here. I'm going to read Amanda's comment actually. I don't know if the way I'm going to word this makes sense. That's okay. We'll work through it. Does an imbalance of a microbe correlate to causing a specific symptom? Oh, I know exactly what you're saying, I think. Like, do you see that an imbalance of this strain is more likely to cause bloating? For sure. Yep, I totally understand what you're saying there. I want to think about my answer. I have an answer for you, but I want to make sure I'm going to be clear with it. Okay, so this is sort of an it depends answer, but overall, yes. There are definitely specific strains associated with specific conditions, right? Like, for example, somebody with depression has a specific microbiome balance that is very similar, right? To other people with depression. For example, lactose intolerance. We're missing three distinct strains in that type of dysbiosis that we know what they are, right? So depending on the condition, we may have identified the exact strains, but we do know that there are specific strains that are identified with specific conditions, right? This is not an exact science. The research is still so new, but we do know that, there's a great proportion of the microbiome that is similar between individuals in a healthy person, right? So there's certain strains we know are meant to be there. We don't know everything. Like literally, there are trillions and trillions of individual microbes in the microbiome. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of strains. They haven't even identified them all yet. But we do know when we have different pathogens, certain ones of those pathogens are more identified with certain symptoms, right? So that's why I say that there's only limited real usefulness for testing, because at the end of the day, if we have the symptom, we generally know we have dysbiosis, and the treatments are generally the same no matter what the dysbiosis is, right? There are a few key pathogens that we do specifically have to target. These are the well-known ones. The treatments are really well-known. So basically, we want to focus on growing and building a healthy, strong microbiome. That's the focus, not sort of, individually picking off these different specific strains that could cause problems. But generally speaking, right, we do see similar microbiome profiles in different conditions, right? So I hope, Amanda, that answered. It's a tricky one to answer clearly, right? But I hope that gives you an idea. But, the generalized principles of treating dysbiosis, depending on your own root cause, they're very similar, right? And that's really how I was able to develop this method. Like I have seen women who have a condition that is very different to another woman with a different condition. But if they both have the same sort of symptoms, then we know that the dysbiosis is at play and the methods of treating this can be similar. All right, you're very welcome. And once again, I do want to thank everybody so much for being here today. I can't wait to talk to you if you've booked a call. And just remember that this call is about me being of service to you. So if we both agree that, you're a good fit for the program and you do qualify to work with us, then we'll discuss what that looks like and the options that you have for doing that. There are lots of options, so don't rule anything out at this phase, please. Either way, you're going to get a lot out of our time on the call together. And I'm really, really looking forward to talking with you. All right, that is it for today, ladies. I want to thank you all so much for being here. And, like I said, the replay will be going out to everybody. who has signed up. So if you didn't make it here live today and you are watching the replay, I also thank you for signing up to join. And I look forward to talking with you all soon. All right, ladies, have the best day ever. See ya.